All right. Am I on? Am I on? Say hi. Yes. Hello, everybody. We're back. What if is back? All right. I'm gonna bring all the people here that are waiting on the backstage. It's been a while since we've done one of those. We've been very busy working on the game. Lots of stuff happening on the art side, on the technical side, design side, and we can't wait to invite you guys back into our virtual studio to see what's going on and chat and hang out. Because we all love games. I'll bring one by one. We have lots of people here, lots of friends, some new faces. Who wants to be first? Greg.
Hey,
Greg Delisky. How are you?
I'm doing really well, really well. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in like 10 minutes.
I know. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Good.
Lots of energy.
Yeah, yeah, I can tell. That's good.
We playing the build. Some cool stuff going on. Even though we had to destroy everything and rebuild it in a different way.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about that.
We are.
It's something that happens in game development quite a bit, but if you do it right, it makes the game better, right? So.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Who we're gonna bring?
Who is next?
Who's next? Is Pedro here? Pedro, are you here?
Yep.
Oh, he is here.
Hi, Pedro.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Pedro.
Hello. Long time no see, right?
Yeah. If you haven't seen Pedro before, Pedro is our amazing senior artist. It says environment there, but he does everything. We throw all kinds of crazy problems at him, and he 99% of them. The other one is unsolvable, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All right, who's next? We have Kadu.
Hey guys.
Should be Kadu in your name. Kadu is a recent addition to our team. He just finished school. Amazing, talented game designer that added a lot of firepower to our team and is making Greg's life
so much easier. So much. I was gonna give him a hard time and say so much harder, but no, it's been like ridiculous.
Sometimes we break stuff. You know it is.
Like I said, we break in a good way. We break
exactly.
And
it's break it till you make it.
Exactly.
Cool. So we'll bring a couple more people. First, Kelly. Hello, Kelly.
Hi, Mojito's here too. This is Mojito. Say hello.
If you don't know Kelly, do you want to say something about yourself, Kelly? I can introduce you and I can say a lot of things about you, but maybe you should introduce yourself.
Well, hey everybody, you may know me from other games that Gabe and I have worked on for many, many years together at other places. Yeah, I'm just excited to be hanging out with the What If crew and checking out everything with Kinshft. It's looking really awesome. So there's a lot of really fun stuff to show today.
Yeah, Kelly is amazing. It says that marketing, but a lot of the times when we say marketing, people it feels like a separate team. But me and Kelly in the Contest of Champions team, we're like partners in crime. We sat in front of each other and we're always scheming about what we can do that will include the game and the outside pieces like the trailers, the motion comics, all that stuff came from me and Kelly, kind of like, it'd be cool, let's do that, and then she'll just find a way to do it, find the budget, find a way to do it, and we'll, the game is so much better because of that, because the integration between like the devs. I think the police is after me. It keeps anyway. So I'm so happy that Kelly's here because she has such creativity and experience in the game industry, and now Kinshft is gonna be better because she's helping us too. And Mohit.
Super exciting.
All right, so I have one more person. This guy he's a special guest. Like most of people that played this game, play Contest of Champions, know him. He's amazing. He cares so much about doing stuff the right way, and he was always in the trenches with us, making sure the community and the players were always, well served and happy, and also very creative guy. And we wanted to bring him to talk to us like for a long time, and now he said yes, which we're very happy. So, hello, G.
Hi.
Or also known as Kabem Mike or Kabem Meek or
Just Mike.
Mike, or yeah, but we're not gonna call you Kabem Mike today. We're gonna call you What If Mike just for tonight. Okay.
Sure. I will take that.
How are you?
I'm very good. I've had a really busy day, but it's lovely to see all your faces. I got to work. I spent a lot of time working with Gabe and Callie in the past.
Yeah, we passed by their calls. Yeah.
So it's funny, how long we worked together, like years, right? Like I was a Kabem for like, I don't know, 10, 12 years. How about you?
A
like
decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, 11 for me.
8 for me.
Yeah. So you kind of become a little bit of a family, right? With the vibe in that office for a lot of those years were really, really good, because we really wanted to be there. We really wanted to hang out, and it was yes about the game, but also about like we really enjoyed each other's company, and we, Jeet we always like create events. I remember some of the events he did for charity, with the drinks and stuff. People love to be there, and that made everything so much better, right? And now that everybody, What If is mostly online. We don't get to meet that much in person, and there's a little bit that gets lost in the social side of it. But we like that vibe. We like to, that's in the reason. In a way, that's why I wanted to create something new and start from the beginning, because I love that vibe that we had, since we were exploding barrel games, and then we became Kabam. Everybody sat in the same room, so that kind of vibe that we wanted to have again. Anyway, everybody's here. So what do we have today, Greg? What do we have to show?
What do we have to show? Well, I mean, the focus of the last month has been the transition to Unreal, but we can show some of that stuff. But I guess you've got you already have a question about what is that background that's in the background. I'm assuming it's not our individual cameras they're asking about, but what's in the background that you have there?
Oh, that background.
Yeah, what's on there?
That background is Nova's bedroom. She, as if you follow some of the stuff that we've been putting out about the story of the game, the game is about a family. Kinshft is about a family that leaves Earth and to explore the solar system, and they live in this spaceship for about 7 years. Kind of like what we had to do during the pandemic. We had to all live together in close quarters. So after so many years, they're feeling the stress, and Nova is the teenage daughter, and she's growing up during this space exploration trip. And this is like her room. This is like what we imagine her room to be. The window has like a blue sky and clouds, but of course that's fake. They're in space. It's just a screen. So we're slowly developing each of the characters' personalities and how they relate to each other and what kind of have being a dad of a teenage daughter myself. A lot of the stuff comes from real life. Seeing my daughter grow and find herself. So I wanted to put a lot of that in Novus too. As you guys know, I like to put a lot of my personal life in stuff that I work. So yeah, that's a little bit of a visual of Nova's bedroom. And on the top there it says "Trust the science is sound," which is something that Nova and her dad Niles would always say because they're explorers and scientists and they love science. So as a younger girl, she wrote that on the on her wall. But then one day she was really pissed off with her family and she scratched sound and said shit. You know what I mean? Like typical thing when you're growing up and you get a little bit, But they love each other. It's just it's hard to grow up in a spaceship in close quarters with everybody. So yeah, that's the background.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you want to say? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you're gonna say?
You said something about Unreal. Do you want to explain a little bit about
Yeah.
Unreal? What is Unreal and why we are transitioning to Unreal?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so for those who don't know, and there's probably a lot of you, Unreal is a different engine than Unity. And from my experience, at least in the last month, if anybody out there ever wants to do a podcast about why Unreal is awesome and Unity isn't, I'm on board. I will totally talk for hours. It's been fantastic. We're a little bit trepidatious about switching engines for anybody who's been in the industry because they know that could be a big concern. But Unreal's been seamless, and we have a whole bunch of stuff that we brought into the game. All the tech that we brought in, all the features we have are in there. Some of them are broken, some of them are buggy, so we should have a lot of fun today. But we have quite a bit to show in terms of, the blocks, the drones, the characters, the ladder climbing. Kaz has been working really hard on getting, or sorry, Carlos has been working really hard on getting the climbing in, the vaulting in, the characters in. And we finally got Kinshft in, which has been awesome. One of the big issues we had on Unity was trying to figure out how to do the split screen camera, just because of the way Unity's camera system works. And Unreal's allowed us to do that in a pretty quick amount of time. So we got some really cool stuff to show today. Hopefully it gets everyone excited and breaks some people's brains as well.
cool. Do you want to say anything about that? Pedro is so happy that we changed to Unreal.
Nah, come on, let's go back to Unity.
No, like if people don't know, like if you're not in the game industry, engines are the programs where you create games with. And Contest of Champions was created in Unity. A lot of games like Kabam were created in Unity. So in the beginning of the process, we were considering do things where we were most comfortable, and we did a lot of the work until like last month, prototyping in Unity because we felt very comfortable with that. But we had our eyes on the ball to change for something that is actually the future of making games, which is Unreal. Feels more like it. Unity is showing a little bit its age. It's not a bad engine. It's just like visually, I think a lot of the stuff we want to do Unreal, it feels better. Of course, we had to take a step back, rebuild everything we have, and we're in the process of rebuilding everything to this new engine, this new home that we want to have. So yeah, I think we're happy with our decision, even though we had to take a step back a little bit. So
It was a bit of a step back, but also we all knew there were features that we had in Unity that needed more work, more polish, and some iteration. And so I think Unity was more of like the learning experience. We had to do the work in Unity anyway. So I don't think in the long run, I don't think we actually even lost any time. I think we're where we were before, or actually I would even say farther ahead feature wise. But we'll see.
Yeah. Also, like as in for environment artists, it's a super powerful engine for like gray boxing and bring stuff into life more quickly than Unity. You have like a couple of tools that gives you a lot of freedom to be creative, but also to be productive and to finish something more quickly than if we were using Unity. So yeah, to me, it was like a very good switch. Um, you can do a lot of stuff in Unity, but when it comes to like time consuming, like the time that you need to finish, like if you want to finish something like in a week, you can do quicker when you use Unreal. To be honest, like we have a whole bunch of tools, like the modeling toolkit, which is amazing. You can create a lot of stuff inside Unreal. I spend most of my time inside Unreal now. And yeah,
That's where you
it's
are
great.
right now. That's where you're inside now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
I think
See, all of this,
it's
this is
all 3D,
Unreal.
right? I think
Yeah.
you're exaggerating on the blur.
I'm not
Can you
real.
tone down?
I am a
Hey,
metaphor. Sorry,
by the
guys.
way, Pedro, your mic is muffled. I think you need
Oh,
to.
okay, yeah, I'll change that.
Pedro's an
Uh,
AI. If anybody didn't know that,
Yes.
that's our new thing.
By the way, guys, like this is a conversation. So if you guys want to interrupt anytime, please
Yeah.
do. With no structure here, we just want to show good things, talk about it. If you want to say bad things about the game, please do.
I just don't know anything about engines, so I'm listening, and
Yeah, engines like are great because they allow you to do things much faster with less code, which
I
for
mean
us
I
is
know what
great.
I know what an engine is. I just can't tell you which one's better.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I think they all have their good, because we are very light on engineering time. So a lot of the stuff that we did in Unity required that we had an engineer to like go into the, you know, and actually create code for us. We're more visual design heavy team. So I guess Unreal is good for us. But it also can become a burden. You know what I mean? I'm not technical at all. I know some other people in the team are more technical, but I love to get what's inside my head to become real in the game with the least distance involving less people as possible. Like you have experience at Kabam or other studios that sometimes you had an idea and you had to run through like
Yeah.
20 people and get engineering time and get designer time, and then during that process the whole idea kind of dilutes or changes and so I'm always not worried, but always aware that whatever the engine we use, it has to be a simple process. Okay, this is cool. Me and Kelly having a good idea, let's try and put it in the game today and see what happens, right? Because it's fresh. So yeah, hopefully it will work.
Yeah, all I know about Unreal is it usually has nicer cinematics.
It visually is
Visually, yeah.
miles ahead. It can get pretty heavy in your computer.
That's true, and it's got like a lot of it loads a lot when it does its thing. So I actually Odin asked that question: what's better, Unity, Unreal, or Godot? It depends on what you're building for. Like Gabe was saying originally, like when we first started out, the game was actually going to be 2D, so Unity made more sense because it was pretty lightweight and pretty easy to use, and we're comfortable with it. But as far as 3D goes, and like Gabe was also saying, prototyping things and adding new features with the blueprint system, because you don't actually have to write any code. You connect a bunch of boxes together. It's fantastic. And the asset store is also really good for people like building plugins and posting a lot of really great content. So if you're trying to get something off the ground really fast and you don't have a big team, you don't have engineers, you can often do stuff yourself or purchase some things for actually relatively low cost on marketplace, and get what you want in game as fast as possible. So.
By the way, do you mind if I draw while we talk?
Not at all.
I'm just.
Now, somebody had a question, Odin Lesky, about what's the best, or what do you guys think is the best out of Unity, Unreal, and Godot?
Godot, yeah.
No.
Godot, I don't have experience with. I know about it, but for me, just from a designing standpoint, Unreal's been like fantastic. It's just with the blueprint system, being able to like prototype things really fast, just be more organized. It's just it is a bit heavy on your PC or on your Mac, depends what you're on, but I think it's worth it for us.
Yeah. I think for engines, it really depends how your team is built, what's the game you're building to. But yeah, definitely for our team, since we have more design power in our side, we don't really have an engineer. So I think visual scripting and all the tools that Unreal gives to designers has been really helpful
That's
for us.
actually a good question. How can we build a game without an engineer, Greg?
I mean, okay, you can, but you could also build a game without artists or without designers. Like, that anyone can build a game.
Oh, but
Engineers
can
have
you
been-
can you build a game without a designer? Because
yeah, of course you can.
if you're building a game without a designer, you automatically become a designer, no?
Well, but, I mean, a designer is just someone who played a lot of games. There you go. I'm diminishing myself already, but it's true. Like a lot of people out there play games. Like Gabe, like you play a lot of games. Like you can make a game. It's not complicated. Well, it is complicated, but it's not like mystical knowledge that we have. We just play a lot of games. But in terms of like the team you have, art you can't just get. The nice thing about Unreal is you can actually like I'm saying, you can buy stuff off Marketplace. They have animations there. They have some really cool plugins that are there that already do a lot of the things that you want. So you can kind of get past some people love coding. I personally don't, but you can get past all like the heavy lifting of coding and just get to the fun gamey bits where you try stuff and break stuff and make yourself laugh and cry sometimes.
Who loves coding?
I'm assuming if you're a programmer, you must love coding.
You must love coding. Yeah.
You must, otherwise, yeah.
I love coding when it works. That's not very often, but I love it when it
That's
works.
true. When you actually or even like blueprints, or like back in we used to like write our own code. When you actually write something and it works exactly the way you want in a really efficient way, it's a really nice feeling. I don't want it all the time, and I don't want to constantly do it. But I wish we had an engineer. I love engineers. I completely know we need one, and they're amazing to have. But
yeah, I have a lot of engineer friends, and I'm just joking. They do love coding, and they do love to see a beautiful code. The same way that like we like to see a nice piece of art or whatever. I have engineer friends that say, "Oh, that was such a beautiful piece of code," and for the life of me, I could not understand, but I know that they really love it, and we want engineers. If they want to join us, that'll be amazing. Yeah. So you want to show anything? You want to show something cool?
Yeah, I want you. I mean, do you want to show what video first? Kinshifting first, running around doing stuff in Unreal first.
Okay, let's start with the Kadu scene and see what he has for us.
Okay.
Okay. So what's the name of your gym? Kadu gym.
Kadu gym, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna open your scene, and can you introduce what you've been working on?
Yeah.
Try to open this.
Totally. Thing. Yeah, I mean, bringing the game to Unreal, me and Greg have been mostly trying to bring back all the tech that we had in Unity. I was focusing on the animations and characters, the way they move, the traversal. Lately, I've been working on the ladder climbing system and also a ledge climbing system. We got it to a point where it's functional. It looks good. We still have our ways to go. It's a few bugs here and there, but I'm satisfied with the result. I've been working on that for about 4 days.
Let's see.
Unreal, it's been pretty nice with traversal mechanics and animations and movement.
Yeah.
Okay.
My gym doesn't have a lot of pretty things. It's mostly blocks, but it gets to the point.
So what am I looking at here? I have Nova.
Yeah, and
with her cape, beautiful cape. I have a bunch of characters they've been playing with. This was a giant.
Those are all T-posing. The animated ones that are on the other side. Yeah, I've been implementing all the animations on the characters. It's been a lot of work.
Look at Nova. Oh
yeah.
my god, that's beautiful. Bunch of VR zombies here, and they look colorful.
Gabe, are you playing this right now? Are we watching you play live?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, this is
Roger.
just Kadu's gym. Like this is his playground, right? Where he
Yeah.
tests the stuff he's working on. So there's not a lot, just a bunch of stuff that he's been working on. So you're doing the letters, right? So
Yeah.
Kadu implemented this really cool motion system. And can I jump? Oh, I can
Yeah.
jump. Oh. So
So it's
wow,
way
there's
better
a-
than our old system in Unity.
Oh
Yeah.
my god,
Nice, you got it.
that's like Prince of Persia. Oh,
Oh.
there's a bug there. Okay, nice. What if I jump from here? Do I die?
Not
Nope.
yet.
Not yet. You can also jump, which is kind of cool. We gave the characters the ability to jump, which is awesome, actually.
Yeah, jumping is a staple of video games.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't do it before. Actually, I know why we didn't do it before, but I'm glad we did it as a team decision, and it was a very good one.
And it helps you emote and show that you're actually happy. Can I sprint and jump? I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
that's where how I'm going to get everywhere. I'm just gonna do that, like skip and jump.
There's also the dodge row too.
Oh, what is this?
I got the drone's in. It's got a trail now, I think. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's got a trail. It also
Oh.
bounces off things, which is really cool. Because Unreal has projectile mechanics, so it treats it as a projectile. So you can bounce it off things. We could, have a lot of really cool, fun gameplay with like trying to trigger the old interactions that people probably saw if you've watched previous streams, and if not, we'll show you on this one's. By having like bounce the drone around corners that you can't reach. There's a lot of potential there. Oh,
So, yeah,
Canal
we-
also. Oh, go straight.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say,
No.
Canal was asking if that's a giant beaver.
A giant beaver? No.
Yes,
That's,
no.
that's
What
a
is
plat-
it? You want
Are you gonna show it?
Yeah,
There
show
we
it.
go.
It's a desert platypus. It's at some point in the initial game, you meet this caravan that is crossing the desert, and they're riding those giant desert platypuses. Platypudi? Oh,
Platypi.
Okay, yeah. So if you don't know about drone, Nova's drone, part of the philosophy of the game is like, yes, we do have combat, but a lot of the problems that you meet in the game, it's non-violence, it's puzzle, is using your brain. We want a game that is not everything is solved by punching people. I don't know about you, but I've done it. I worked almost 10 years in a game that you solved every problem by punching people, even problems that should be solved by a talk. Just discussing your problems with your enemies. So I want a game that is you have the choice to to solve things. So when we're thinking about Nova's weapon, because how would you describe Nova as a as a character, as a kind of game character? Is she like a ninja? Is she like a an assassin, or how would you put her?
I mean, that's originally what I called her, just to sort of characterize her gameplay. But I think the more that we play it, and the more we talk about the three different characters, and Nova having this drone, and that's her primary weapon, quote unquote, or her ability. I think she's more like a thief, really. She's not really meant to engage people. She's more meant to distract them, to to disable them, to think her way around problems. So I'd go with more like possibly a thief, rogue.
Yeah, rogue. That I think that's a great way to describe. So her, by the way, I can't use it anymore. But anyway, she has a drone, and this drone is a magnetic drone that she can control. She can shoot at things, and it will attach to metal, and then by attaching to metal, she can actually move things around, or attract enemies to a certain direction while she goes the other direction. So she's all about stealth and misdirection and stuff like that. So her drone, and we even think, well, remember, Kelly, what name we gave to the drone?
Oh, Mags.
Mags. Is that some kind of acronym?
It is.
Oh, okay.
It is an acronym. I don't know if we settled on the acronym BITS.
MAGGS, right?
Yeah.
So
I think it was Magnetic Advanced Guardian and Guidance System or something like that.
I like it.
yeah, that's pretty cool. If people in the comments have any other suggestions, what MAGGS would stand for, we'd love to hear it. We're trying to give it because it's more than a tool. This is like her companion, and we want this to be a character in the game. We want it to talk. It's kind of like Alexa meets Frisbee meets R2D2. I don't know. Meets Captain America Shield.
Yeah.
Something
We got
like
a
that.
burning question, Gabe. Are we going to be able to ride the platypus?
Yes, 100%. And we want to have rides in the game. Lots of different rides. And in the future too, when you play as Nova's mom, Naomi, there might be some cool machine-like rides for you to ride. Cool. This is awesome. Thanks, Kadu. What's next for us? What do you have?
I
I
got
want to ask more about this platypus first.
Okay. Go ahead.
talk about it.
So one, I think it looks really, really cool. I kind of wanted to ask where you got these like aesthetic choices from. The colors, especially, like I really, really like the red and the greens and the orange. Like they're very fiery, you know.
Mm. Yeah, we love color. I think we're trying to create our own aesthetic that the characters are mostly color. They're flat. They're like illustrative, and we love comic books. We love concept art. We love all of that, and even at Cabana, I used to say like, does the game looks the best? 3D art is gonna kill me for that, but like the game for me always looked the best at concept stage. If we can keep how beautiful concept art is and translate it into a full moving game, I think that would be a beautiful kind of game for me. And I think there's a lot of games that trying to do that, trying to develop different kind of more illustrative visuals. So yeah, everything will be colorful. We want people to explore this world, and we want people to want to be in this world. And if it's a very oppressive, gray, dark all the time, I think people's precious times. Sometimes you end your day and you are home and you want to play something. You don't want to play something that's going to let you down and make you sad.
Which
So
is
I think
often the case for most sci-fi futuristic games. There's a lot of grays. There's a lot of muted colors. So I really like the way that you've gone here, especially with like the sharp contrast of like the reds, and then there's like the green people. I don't know what
right.
the difference is yet. I'm
Yeah,
still
and they will
learning.
stand out.
I'm
Like
still learning with everyone else. Yeah.
oh, Cat Murdoch.
Emmett's
Hey, how are
here.
you?
Hi, Kat.
Do you have any puzzle games in particular that you draw inspiration from your gameplay? Do you want to start with that, Greg?
That's a really good question, because it's kind of evolving over time, so it's kind of hard to pin something down. Like we always talked about Lost Vikings way back in the day as kind of like one of the reference points, but I think after like a lot of iteration, like just looking, and people will probably see today when we show the kin shifting stuff, it's gonna be different. It's kind of like it's a good starting point. But
I think there's a lot of games that we look at that we love, that we like. Games like even though it's not a puzzle game, we started looking at Hades, which is like we all love, but we also have Death's Door, Death's Door has a very good balance between combat and puzzling.
puzzles,
There's a lot of little games like that we use as a starting point, but the puzzling in our game took a life of it because of the kin shifting, because you have to play as 3 different characters in basically what it is 4D across time. I don't know if there's any parallels to that, but we love games that people can just walk. There is missions, of course. There is a storyline that you can follow, and we love story. I love story. You know, I was always trying to put story everywhere in Contest of Champions, even when there's no there's no space for it. So we want to indulge in like a rich world that you can actually walk around and do whatever. But there's this storytelling that you can follow, but there's things to be discovered. Greg created a new mechanic that you can actually go into the desert and start digging for artifacts of the past or the future, uh, stuff like that. You know, like you find objects and you try to like. There's no introduction to them, but you try to combine them together and add the dimension of time to see what happens if you bury that object in, for 1,000 years and let the other person dig it in the future and see what happens. So I don't know exactly what would be a game like that. There'll be a perfect blueprint for that, but I'm pretty sure there's lots
I'm
out
sure
there.
there are. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
can't think off the top of my head. But
Yeah, I love like Disco Elysium, Death's Door, stuff like that. Are
Got
there
another question.
required and non-required bosses?
someone's been
Come on.
playing Dark Souls or Elden Ring quite a bit. I think, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not even necessarily bosses, but we've been talking about this, how, we're going to have like a main storyline, obviously, and Gabe, if I'm wrong, please correct me, that you're sort of playing through, but there'll be a lot of side content, a lot of side things to do. We all love secrets in games, like even going, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, like little really obscure secrets that you kind of come across something, you're like, that's really weird. Actually, I've been playing a lot of games recently, like even Elden Ring, and oftentimes the world design is amazing, and you'll kind of come across the world, and you'll come across a really cool structure, and there's a story behind it. Obviously, the artist and the concept artist designed this with a really cool story behind it, and there isn't one. And in your head, there's a narrative you can create, which is really neat. Usually, you pick up a random item, and you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. I love for our game to have all these little locations that we've created that Pedro's made in the world. Not everything is a puzzle, but there's something mysterious about different things in the world, that every new structure you come to might actually hold a secret. That's the kind of world we want to create. So that's why I'd say it's less about required bosses and more like there's a path you can progress through the game, but there are main secrets to be found that could, unlock new characters, new ideas, maybe new endings. We'll see. But
yeah, bosses are notoriously hard to develop for, like they take a long time, art, design, programming, for an experience that sometimes is very short.
Yeah.
So when we put a boss in our game, it needs to be meaningful, and probably means it needs to be something that the story is meaningful to the story too. So every time we talked about bosses, we talked about people that you meet and meet again, sometimes across time. So if we're talking about three different, wildly different timelines, or the same timeline, it's just different time periods, but there will be characters that will be basically immortal. So you meet the same person in year 100, year 1000, year 10,000, right? So, and you see how they change. And maybe they're only a boss in year 1000. Maybe they're your friend in year 100, and maybe they're something completely different in year 10,000. And we're designing characters that way so they can have more use in the game other than just like a single encounter. They just killed that person and that's it, right? So we want things to be, so you have a choice. Maybe if you meet that person early on in the game and you treat that person well, you won't have to fight that person later on. You know what I mean? Or maybe you don't know. Maybe whatever you say, it doesn't matter. He's still gonna be that bitter person that's gonna want to kick your ass later in the future, right?
Yeah, I'll say too that we talked about this before, but I think that the boss fights or the encounters against these enemies will probably be something that you'll encounter along the main path. We'd love to have different ways to tackle those bosses, though. Different problems, different outcomes. Maybe different choices you made before could affect the boss fight. Things you do during the fight could affect it. Maybe even it's not about killing your enemy. Maybe there's a way to defeat it and actually have it become an ally in the future. So using those pretty big narrative points to allow players an element of choice and discovery that's not always, walk in and kill something. It's actually, if you think through this, the outcome could actually be better and different.
Right. And doing so, you actually evolve your character, right? We talk about how the decisions you make, I'll get a little philosophical, but people are always fighting. We fight on the internet. We're always like demonizing the other side, you know. So and it's also a world that it became so easy to tell lies that there's much more value to try and connect and try to tell the truth. So we want a world that you rewarded by doing certain actions that will grow like a plant. You know what I mean? Like that. It's no coincidence that to create connections, you be planting those specific seeds to create, you know, Kinshft antennas so you can connect with your family. The game is about connect. It's about getting closer to people that you love, but maybe you stranded. So maybe you can apply that to the whole world and say, hey, maybe I can find the item that this person wants, so maybe I can get an ally in the future. So that's the kind of the whole tone. But yeah, you can kick people's asses too, like if it's necessary. You know, as in life. So Kat Murdoch was saying that she reminds of Day of the Tentacle, which is a game that we always talk about.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, you get it. Right. Is a classic, and it does have, you know, getting like involved with time and time travel is super complicated. Like, you know, everybody loves time travel movies, and you know, but I imagine what people writing a script for a movie that the you know, Back to the Future, which for me is one of the most perfect scripts ever written in history, but it's so complicated, but everything kind of falls into place. Imagine that with a game that all the choices are made by the player, and so we need to be very careful about the linearity or the branching paths of the game, and because we're in the game with a small team, so we don't want to spend 20 years making this just because everything branches out 10 different ways, right? It needs to be very carefully scripted in a way, but offering choice to the players.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So we've got a question about collecting cool stuff.
Oh yes, we love collecting.
Oh yeah, yeah. Unquestionably, there'll be unique stuff. Well, actually, one of the things I wanted to work on, we'll see about next sprint or next milestone was because for our first playable, we're going to have a smaller area. It's a good place to implement this system, but I want to work on an idea of like I don't want to say a random event system, but an event system for different locations. So when you're wandering the desert, you know, on this particular outing, there could be certain things that are happening. You know, a wandering trader that shows up, somebody who's, you know, run out of water and stuck in the desert, you can help, and so on. And they'll happen at different times, you know, to different people under different conditions. And so those could, again, have their own interactions. And if you interact properly, you can actually get these collectibles. And we have a collectible system in the game as well of being able to like put together collections of, especially in a world where it's sort of built on the back of the future of humanity, where all our relics are kind of buried into the world. It feels like a place where you want to collect stuff and actually, you know, get all the first 10 issues of Marvel, or maybe not Marvel, as they might have a problem with that.
One phrase that I really like, and I think we should use it all the time, is like, it's a game about archaeology of the future too. So yeah, you know, the same. I'm a big history buff. I love, you know, the shows about Egyptian mummies and stuff like that. Not aliens, but real stuff, real science stuff. But you know, imagine doing that with stuff from our own culture in the future. You know what I mean? Like you find objects that Nova in that case is kind of like a stand-in for us. She's from our own time, and she knows what all those objects are for. But the people in the future that lost that kind of knowledge don't know. So she find one thing that she collects and is tablets, is iPads, is whatever, right? So, but there's no electric energy in the future, so they're useless. So people in the future attribute to those objects some kind of magical meaning. They call them dark mirrors or black mirrors, or so they're magic, and they're valuable to those people for different reasons. So stuff like that. I think it was really cool to play with their own pop culture too, and have objects that you recognize. You know, like I don't know, a Taylor Swift album cover or whatever. You know, like, but that people value in a different way. Oh, it's cool. It's a cool picture. We can play a lot with that.
Yeah, it also gives us like a really unique opportunity because like we're talking about Nova in the sense of like she's kind of like, you know, our slight future. So our artifacts of the past are kind of her present. But then you have like Naomi and you have Niles. You know, Naomi is like 1,000 years after Nova, and Niles is even farther after Naomi. In that time frame that happened between them, like what happened in that time? What artifacts are created in that time that you can unearth, and what story can you learn? So there's a lot of opportunity to tell like multiple stories of like what's happening in the present, but even what happened in the past between those different timelines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the next scene we want to show? Like
Oh yeah, before I start some gameplay, I think you should show the well, either show your cool video or I say go with the Kinshft. Go big.
I was like, this is a good segue into kinshifting.
Sure. Sure.
do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Kelly's the boss, so let's do it.
Yes.
Okay, maps. Let's. What's the scene? Hopefully,
While you're figuring that out, Odin's got a question too,
Oh.
about just like the campaign. Is it going to be like D&D kind of structure?
Like, well, I could ask him. What do you mean? Do you mean what element of like the D&D? The fact that it's a bit more like freeform, where you sort of have like narrative points you want the players to hit, but then in between there's lots of wiggle room to, you know, have little side adventures and kind of bend the story to the way the players are playing.
No, he means he wants to dress like a wizard, man.
we already played D&D together. He hasn't quite gotten to the cosplay part yet, but
yeah, my daughter's into it too, and she plays every week. And I honestly I don't have the mental capacity like to do it, but I love watching them doing it. Oh, anyway, so let's see what we have here.
Like D&D, I gotta think people just tell me to do. I don't really have to do or wizard. Yeah, exactly. Like it's things you don't have to do. Yeah, it's not like there'll be like a story that has to progress in terms of the characters getting back together, but also there'll be okay.
Look at that.
Okay,
that looks more dressed up.
More dressed up.
Okay, so do you want to introduce what we're trying to do here, Greg?
Yeah. So for the longest time, we've been sort of talking about when actually, if anybody remembers from back in the Kickstarter campaign, Gabe had a video that kind of showed the different worlds overlapping. We don't want the game to feel like you're playing as one character in a disconnected time period and switch to another character later on. We really want to let the player understand that you're playing two characters that are in the same space of the world, but separated by time. And the best way to do that is to create a scenario here where you have a split screen mechanic. So this is all real gameplay, which is cool. Uh-oh.
What?
My debug still on there? Do you have latest? It's okay. There's debug text popping up. That's all right. That's
fine. It's testing. It says testing.
All right.
Before it said shit, so it's better.
That's true. I don't know what it says right now.
Yeah.
So what's happening now is basically you're seeing the two different characters in their respective times. So you're playing as Gabe is playing as Nova, who's wandering around the world in her primordial time, and then as she gets close enough to Naomi, who is physically close to her but separated by time, it kind of overlaps for the players. You can see the same world in two different time periods.
Yeah, so like Greg and Kadu worked really hard to make this work. This is the core of the game, so we needed to make sure that it would work and it would be satisfying to do. I think it's still a long ways to go, but seeing this, it gives me a lot of hope for what can be a unique experience. So I wanted people to see side by side what changed in the world. You see this pool here is like a clear, kind of nice, natural pool, and in the future it became this weird kind of oil, kind of industrial kind of area. And at any time I can go and switch to Naomi. So now I'm playing as Naomi. I am in the future, which is a bit more dystopian, and I can walk around, and you can see how those two characters can work together to solve a puzzle, even though they're separated by. Whoa, there's a bug here.
By bugs in the camera. Sorry, those are.
Yeah,
I'll fix those eventually.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
So if you walk away with Naomi, you'll be alone, right? That's the logic, you know.
Yeah.
But you can see where you left Nova as a ghost is like a presence that you have to develop during your missions. You start by being alone, and then as you get more of the Kinshft power, for lack of a better word, you start feeling more the presence of your family and be able to communicate, to talk to them, even see them, or other stuff. You'll be able to, send stuff to the future, and spoilers, you'll be able to do stuff backwards too, because Niles, the third person in this equation, is Niles, and he figured out how to do some entanglement stuff, and so to be able to find objects in the future that will affect their own versions in the past, and be able to change those. So it'll be pretty crazy by the moment in the game where you can actually play with three of them. And there'll be moments also that you'll be alone, and you'll be away from the Kinshft towers. You'll be like this, right? You'll be alone, and you have to, do missions by yourself, so you can reconnect to your family or do something for them. So I'm really happy to see this, because it validates a lot of the stuff that before it was just like in our heads or maybe in concept art. But now to see this, even though it's kind of half broken right now, but it's still a long way to go. But it's cool. I can see the game. I can see the story, and it makes me really, really happy, actually. What do you think? What do you think, Jeep?
I think this looks really, really cool. It was always a question of mine. It was like, how are we actually going to display the difference between the different timelines? I love the way that you can see them both at the same time. I love her Marge Simpson hair. Just red Marge Simpson hair.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Simpsons is always my reference.
Yeah.
Probably.
I know. I know you love this. Who doesn't love The Simpsons? If you don't love The Simpsons, I don't like you. And I know there's bugs here, but I think one of the really cool things, the fact that you guys are showing off this stuff with bugs, and like the process is pretty. I think really cool. It's not something a lot of game developers would do. They always wait until everything's perfect. Don't want to show anything. Bringing people along for the ride is really awesome.
Yeah, we love that. It really bugged me working on big studios that, I understand why things do it. There's a lot on the line. There's a big team working on it. So, but that's the greatest thing about being on indie again, is to be able to do that and go straight to the people that will be the most invested on. So we love that. And, maybe next time we show it, it'll be even more broken, because we're trying things, right? If we don't try things, we'll never break anything. So
true. It also just better illustrates to your earlier point about, can you make a game without engineers? You can, but then it looks like this, because a designer can do it, and you have to like spend the whole week tearing your hair out trying to figure out how to get the system going, and it's been
right,
yeah, it's a challenge, but
yeah. We had a great engineer with us, Alex, but unfortunately he had to move on. But one day we'll bring him back, because he was amazing. He's still amazing. He's still alive.
he's still amazing. Yeah, we love Alex.
Yeah, and they make our lives so much easier, and they give us ideas too, and it's great that we can sit all together too and offer ideas in any area of the game, and not be like just separated by little buckets, and only talk like once a week in a meeting or whatever, right? We're always sitting together.
Who's that big green dude that you talked to? Oh, the platypus.
There he is.
There's the platypus.
Next time we'll Andy modded this, by the way. It's amazing. Next time we'll see him move, we'll actually be able to ride it. I promise.
It's so sweet.
I want to know the story of this big green guy over here.
Which one?
Go back towards the center.
Oh, the big robo guy. Oh yeah.
Who's this guy? What's he doing?
Those are the Ausolage. They're like a village. You're actually in their village. It's a village of robots. They love music, and they they communicate through like vibration, kind of like in Dune, when they call the worms, but they
Yeah.
use big boom boxes to communicate. Um, they have a kind of a cool but sad story because they're being controlled by this evil guy called what's his name?
Geppetto?
Geppetto.
DPT, yeah.
Geppetto, yeah. Yeah, but it
It's
spells
puppeteer.
GPTO, right? Geppetto, GPTO, because he is a guy that controls the robots by doing AI prompts, and he thinks he's the Shakespeare of AI prompts. So he sits in his house like typing those AI prompts and thinking he's the greatest artist of the world. So he's the villain. As as you can see, I don't like AI. So one of the missions is to actually go there and try to free them from Geppetto's control. Yeah, but they're nice people, or nice robots.
Did we get the berries ready for this, or are we doing that next time? Because
Oh,
I
the
think that
berries?
ties into I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong. I'm going to say canal canine. Can you change stuff so if Nova can make something that will help Naomi in the future?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think what scene did you put that on, Greg?
Oh, you can go to a Jim_Greg.
Wait.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think Canal's maybe specifically asking about backwards changes, because forward changes make a lot of sense. Like in the
Right.
past, Nova destroys a bridge, and in the future, the bridge has been destroyed. Of course, but how do you work that backwards when Naomi can do something in the future and benefit Nova in the past?
Right. That we have a few ideas about that. I don't want to give a lot up right now, but basically, Naomi's an engineer. She's the engineer of the family. So sometimes Nova has things that break or that she doesn't know how to fix. A good example is in the beginning of the game, she finds her drone, but the drone is broken. So she sends the drone to the future to Naomi. Naomi's mission now is to disassemble it, find pieces, and generate a kind of a blueprint to send it back as information to Nova to be able so Nova can fix it in the past. Okay, so you're missing this one piece. Go find it, right?
Yeah.
So Naomi's in the beginning. Her role is to be the glue between the future and the past, and she has the information. When Niles comes to the picture, things get much more crazy because they will have this quantum box that they can put objects inside and combine them, and the object would appear in 3 times. They'll be entangled. You can build things together in 3 different times, and the box will propagate the same object to the 3 times, so you can all use it. So, but is a slow burn. First you play with Nova, then you find Naomi, you work together, and then Niles come into the picture, and then you get all your full kinship powers. We need to have a different word for that. Kinship powers doesn't sound good. Does that answer your question? We want to make it simple for the players to use it, though. We don't want to make it super complicated. I want people to understand it instinctively. What you can do. Oh, I can combine objects. Now I can put in a time capsule, and now I can tell Naomi where to find it. Now she found it, but there's a big robot, guarding it or whatever. So it will be pretty simple to use, but the concept behind it is a bit nerdy. Cool. So should we go to your gym now?
Yeah, jump into the Jim Greg, and you can. That's
Okay.
probably broken stuff in there, but some fun stuff too.
Oh yeah.
And then Owen's asking if I fixed the Naomi teleport glitch. No, I didn't. We'll see if Gabe can find it. And it's just like TOTK's Zuggle entanglement. Yes. For those who don't know what that is, and probably that's everyone out there. Similar to that, but without the save loading stuff.
Okay, so I'll play this. Share it. You guys enjoying it? It's good? Is it good? If you're not enjoying it, let us know. It's
Let us
fine.
know.
Let us know. Okay. So what am I?
So if you head over to that block up there that's in front of the house.
Okay.
If you see it and you run the camera around, it actually exists in both time periods. Oh, that one, yeah, that one right. Oh yeah, you can pick some berries too. Yeah, pick some berries.
Oh, there's berries. Oh,
yeah,
I love
pick some
berries. Oh, what is circle? I have a Nintendo Switch controller.
Well, you have the Switch controls. It's one of the 4 buttons.
It's one. Okay.
No,
Okay.
the Switch, for some reason, Unreal Switch doesn't map the same way Xbox and PS4 does, or PS controllers do. So it's one of the 4 faces.
Y is jump.
Yep.
This is X is shooting.
Okay. There it is. There it is. That was it.
Okay, got it.
Nice.
Okay, good.
If you press, I think, the plus button, you can check your inventory too. There you go.
Look at that. Oh my God. That's so amazing.
There's a bag on the left side of the screen. It's your inventory. You can navigate to that and hopefully go inside it.
The bag?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and then you can look at it.
What is the goods? Rock?
Keep going. Hey, devil tooth berries. Oh, okay. You don't have the latest. Your pretty art isn't in there, but you have berries in your backpack, so you can collect berries.
Okay, that's really cool. So now I have berries. So what?
So now we'll first mess around with that cube there. So if you throw your drone at that cube in front of the door, at the cube in front of the, there you go. Now use your analog stick. You can move it around like you could before, which is cool. It's the levitating block. And now if you use that block and cross over the threshold to Naomi's time, you'll see it appear there as well. So where it gets kind of weird.
That's weird. Correct.
So, what?
Okay, so now
if you let go and switch to Naomi, the block is in her time period, and you can actually interact with the block.
Now I can get in this house.
Now you can get in that house too, yeah. But it's not the thing you need. So if you want to switch back to Nova,
okay.
For example, yeah, and then head over to the right, the east.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. And then climb the ladder, I think, if you can, to the upper right. Hopefully you can. Or so, yeah, keep going. Yes, up that ladder. Get that. Up that ladder.
What's going on, Kadu?
That's.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. You're climbing it wrong. So you pick that up. So that'd be something you would have crafted and had to gather materials for, but that would be
amphor.
And now if you head over to a nice little hiding spot, so not this house, but go to the next one. So keep going to the left and up a little bit. And there you go. And then, keep going in front of that house. Oh, keep going. There you go. Head in front of that house over there.
Yeah.
Circle should pop up. There it is. So press circle. And now you've buried one there. So now if you switch right to Naomi. Okay, now head over there. There should be to your other house. Yeah, there you go. You'll see a flask appear there in her time period, but it's not in Nova's period. Don't pick it up. Just roll the camera around. It's not in her time period. So she's basically passed the flask over time. So that's a really ghetto version of actually having to craft something, bury it in the ground using the dig mechanic, and then having Naomi unearth it in the future and take the item.
So
also very good daughter making her mom some wine.
Yes. That's the best part. Yeah. She put some grapes in a flask 1,000 years later. Is the best wine ever made. Or maybe tastes terribly.
Super Duper Boo has a question about I think they did a typo, so it's more regions. How many regions are in the Kinshft verse?
Oh, I wanted to talk about religion.
I think that was religions
and regions. Maybe it's both.
Yeah.
He mentioned 40K, so for the Emperor, definitely. Yeah, Gabe, he
is talking about religion. Yeah. So yes, religion, mythology, all of that is big part of it. There is in the past, for example, people that think that our culture or stupid, crappy, fast food, pop culture is something holy and wise and worthy. So they worship stuff that we made. So there will be a lot of that in the story. You know, we're not gonna walk away from that. That's a great thing about not playing in other people's IPs is that you can really go crazy with this kind of stuff. And I love mythology. I love all of that history. So we're gonna explore some of that for sure.
It's like Taco Bell and Demolition Man. I think I aged myself right
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
It's a great movie.
it's a great example. Yeah,
Yeah.
Taco Bell became cool. What's next? Whoa, now I'm excited. So
That's good. That's good.
what's the next scene?
I mean, you could run into Robot Quarry if you wanted to, but that's pretty much all the gameplay stuff we have right now. The big thing was the ladders, the traversal, the kid shifting. So next time we'll have more about the interaction with the drone, bringing the platforms that are moving and crafting things and NPCs and all the
What
stuff.
about the Robo Village, Robo Quarry?
Yeah, you can give it a play.
Is that in a good state?
I mean, it's more running around. You'll probably get stuck in some places, but seeing how it looked in Unity compared to Unreal can be pretty cool.
Which one is it, Pedro? Is Robo Quarry?
Yeah, it's FP Ref Robot Quarry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
FP Ref Robo Quarry. Okay.
Primordial. Yeah.
Now looks. This is the scene that Pedro's been playing with to try and make it as good or better than the one that we had before in Unity, right?
Looking better already.
Let's see if it's better already. So where am I now?
Yeah, I think you're like, you right at the end of the level. So
look at those guys. This is actually the
there
village.
We go.
What are they doing? They're looking at this pool.
They're gazing into the
they're
pool.
just chilling. Yeah.
Oh, where do I go? So yeah, Pedro's been diligently rebuilding a lot of the stuff. Oh, now I'm stuck.
Just try jumping and vaulting, jumping and mantling.
Jumping and vaulting.
Yeah, jumping. Yeah, try to mantle.
Oh,
There you go.
look at that!
Oh, look at that.
So good.
Carlos
Now, like it's good. The players will be able to do more stuff with that, but we have to be very careful now that they'll try to walk around places that they shouldn't.
Well, yeah.
Okay, it's starting to look pretty cool.
Great.
Oh, what is this?
Yeah, I don't believe it's working right now.
No, I broke some stuff. I tried to fix some stuff. So.
But yeah, if you want, Gabriel, you can just go back to the beginning to show like the beginning of the map.
Should I do like a play from here kind of thing?
Yeah.
So speaking of the map, Odin wants to know how big is the map going to be, and how long are you planning 100% playthrough to be? How many hours?
Yeah, part of what we want to do as a studio in general is to have games that you can actually finish. You know what I mean? There's a lot of we talked a lot about how massive games have become, how expensive to make they have become. So we really wanted to create games that you can play from beginning to end in a reasonable amount of time. What is reasonable? It kind of depends, right? If you have all time in the world, you can play a 40-hour game, no problem. But for most of us, I think a few hours is more than enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but with like we say, like a lot of side content. So things to explore for sure. And I'd love also to have I prefer to build a game where the playthrough is shorter, but the choices you make during it affect your playthrough, and so you're actually encouraged to go back and play multiple times to talk to somebody who fought a boss a certain way or encountered something you've never seen before. It's like, how'd you do that? Oh, I did it this way. So you go back and play again and do some different choices. That's far more intimidating, especially if you're limited on time. If it's a 40-hour game, but if it's it's a 6-hour game, 10-hour game, it's much easier to do.
Yeah. So
I'm sure that kinshifting and the time traveling too will basically make your experience quite different depending on what you do. If you decide to make your mom some wine or not, maybe she gets mad at you and sends some weird stuff back in time to punish you. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. So like one things that I really love about making mobile games was the fact that you can always make new content, right? And Jeet was like heavily involved in all of that, and you too, Kelly. It's just you are able to respond and always bring something new with it, like every month. So after we have the base world and the base story like complete, and people love the game, we can always expand. We have a big plan for the map to like expand into different regions and bring new things, new collections, new missions, and stuff like that. So the question is the answer to that question is depends how much money we get. Because we have lofty goals, of course, but we also tiny little in this studio.
Yeah, and just to plug that, if people want to see cool games like this, make sure you support your favorite indie studios.
Yes.
Yeah, support your indie devs.
Yep.
And then maybe we'll get someone who doesn't just leave the screen black for this long game.
Is the game is crashing. I cannot do the play from here, Pedro. I crashed.
Do you want me to show? Can I show and then you just talk? I can do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
But
yeah, you
all
should
right.
you should show the scene and pull out and see the size of the scene right now.
Yeah, sure.
I think it would be pretty cool.
This is what you get with behind the scenes stuff in games.
There you go, removed.
Perfect.
Sometimes these guys are fixing bugs on the fly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or making them.
Or making them.
Super Duper Boo actually already gave us the title for the second Kinshft, so we had to make a sequel.
Oh, nice.
I don't know how you pronounce it, but Kinshft? Kinshft? I don't know. There's a 2 in there, so.
Kinshft.
So this is what we currently have. When it comes to like size, but there will be more. We're still trying to explore like the narrative and areas to players, for players to explore. And for now, the objective is just like finish the things that we had in Unity. So after that, we'll start like really digging new areas, exploring like a little bit of the the loot, and so this is the size of the map, and this is where you begin. Let me just so this is the beginning of the map.
Peter, how much of this did you make yourself? It's really impressive.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's manageable. It's manageable.
He made all of it, so yeah.
So let me go to the lower part of the map, and
all right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go to the letter right now. So we have like these kind of cool vistas because there's like a moment on the story that you need to see the ship from far away, and it will be
this is the ship that you came in the story. The family goes out in space, and there's 4 of them, right? There's Nova, Naomi, Niles, and there's also a little kid called Newton that was born during the trip. And then at some point he gets sick, so they're forced to go back to Earth in a rush. And as they get back, they realize that there's an asteroid coming to destroy the planet. So they had to have a really hard choice of putting themselves to sleep and put themselves in orbit of the Earth and wait until the asteroid kind of hits and see if anybody can save them. And a lot of time passes and they wake up separate from each other and they don't know what happened. But at some point, there is a mission to find the ship. The ship that you were in orbit with, the Astrea, and that's where you're gonna see where that gray area is there. Um, and the ship is in the middle of the village of the robots. It's being used for energy for other stuff, so they won't let you just go there and enter the ship. So you and Naomi, as Nova, you and Naomi have to work together to find a way to get there and retrieve some of the objects that you need. So, yes.
Yeah, let me go to the last area of the map. So yeah, still building, I want to do like a ramp here. So yeah, that's pretty much what we currently have for the robot.
Really cool. And all those like little balconies and ledges are going to be great for like hiding things and secrets and platforming, and it's going to be awesome. Excited.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
The next live, this thing is gonna be shining. This is about 50 or 60% of what we want this to look like. It's already looking amazing, but there's way more coming.
This also isn't like the entire first playable. This is one map of the entire map of the first playable. We're gonna have more stuff.
How long do you think the first playable is, Greg?
I think you can get. I'm gonna think like an hour probably. I think that's totally fair. But like even with all the stuff we've been talking about, like in the flow, I think an hour is probably pretty solid. That's not probably not including like side secrets and content, depending how much we can actually put in. But
and what is a first playable?
Like
for people that might not.
Oh, first playable. Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, first playables are going to be like a little sort of vertical slice of our game. So we're going to create a small part of the world with all the mechanics that you expect to find, and let you play the first part of the story to kind of get a feel for what the game is. So that'll be about an hour of content, we're thinking, and yeah, we got a pretty cool plan for it. So.
Some people might call it demo or
demo,
and we want to have, as soon as we have that, to be available to people to play, and to wish list and to try the game and to go into our Discord and discuss with us what they like, what they don't like, and even earlier than having a complete kind of experience, we want people to be able to try, especially the Kinshft and how those things work in our game, because that's the unique part about it.
I'd love to have people actually be able to play it and talk like on the live stream here and like ask questions about stuff they've played or like make comments and suggestions about stuff that was really frustrating, like platforming in third person. I know that's super fun. We'll make it good, and just giving feedback and comments and ideas, that'll be fantastic.
So like I just hijacked a little bit to compare what the scene started as this. I went there and did a concept, talked to Greg. First started with some gray blocking, showing where the player can move around, and then I'll start sketching on top of it, saying, hey, we can do this, we can do that, and then Pedro comes and make it even better. So as you can see, the scene already surpassed everything that is in this concept, but every step of the way things are getting better and better. And there's a part that I really like on this scene, that is the crane. I really love this. I want to show it again. This is an example of like one of the areas of the scene that is not there, but that is a puzzle, right? You have to get to the right side there where there's all this like magic mushrooms, not that kind. Where you have to plant a seed to grow a Kinshft tree, so you can talk to your mom because you're out of range. But you have to pass through this crane construction quarry. The robots are harvesting glass because when the ship crashed, it made a huge part of the desert all glassy, and the robots are cutting glass and harvesting that glass for their own objectives. And you have to go through this crane, and there's a lot of things to do, a lot of like levers to pull, a lot of things that you have to figure out so you can move that big arm and you can ride it to the other side of the cliff. So this is a good example of like stuff that you might meet that is purely puzzly, but there'll be enemies in the middle too. So yeah, we love that kind of stuff. And you can see the yellow gears there. Those are places where you can actually use your drone to move things around and figure things. Right? We love the crane, right, Greg?
We do. We're gonna, yeah. I got some cool ideas for how to use it after you finish this adventure as well. But
cool stuff. There's a lot of good stuff here, and we've been talking about that for an hour and 20 minutes. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss? Questions, comments, anything? We're here. People are starting to get tired. How you doing, G?
Sleepy. It's not your fault. I've just not been sleeping well.
Yeah, I'm a bit tired too. But sometimes we stay like 2 hours, 2.5 hours just talking.
Honestly, normally I could talk about this stuff forever. I just came back from my brother's wedding, and it's been exhausting. That was a week and a half of
a week and a half of a wedding. Jesus, that's crazy.
Indian weddings, they're so much fun, but they're a lot.
My wedding was just like 3 days. I feel ashamed though.
The number of people who found out just now that I'm Indian was crazy. Like,
because they thought you called Mike,
which is actually a Japanese name I took. It's Mike.
I know, but most people call you Mike, right? So yeah. And me and you, we both like people online. Some people think you made Contest of Champions by yourself, and some people think I made Contest of Champions by myself. And we have to like, hey, there's 100 people working in this game, right?
Yeah.
So
okay, someone gave me a flying horse balloon for my birthday.
Whoa.
That's amazing.
It's still here, just kind of haunting the space.
And now it's like a floating horse.
It's like getting sadder and sadder. Like
it still like lifts off the ground. It's kind of weird. I don't like it. I think you need to get rid of it.
A hovering horse.
Yeah.
The flying horse. Maybe we'll put the flying horse. That's one thing I always want to do with this game. Every time I see something cool, I want to put it in the game for no reason.
A flying horse.
Yeah, let's do like a flying inflatable horse. Maybe it's something that you need to. Maybe it's a balloon that you need to go from A to B, and there's a flying horse. Send me a picture. We'll put it. I want to put all my friends in the game, all the stuff that I see.
And he's got a long list of stuff to model.
All the pets, all the
Yeah,
Mojito is already in the game.
Yeah.
Mojito became Sharkito. So yeah, lots of fun.
We're gonna make that otter that was in your backyard.
Oh yeah, I had an otter. Ghost horse. A ghost horse from the past, like Pegasus. Like should be like a more modern horse. What is like a modern pop culture horse? That is like
BoJack Horseman.
That's where my mind went to.
I think horses are underrepresented in pop culture. Anyway,
you're right. Yes.
We showed a bunch of cool stuff today. I'm really happy. How are you guys feeling about the game? Good?
Gabe, I have an idea.
All right.
I've always had this joke where I say horses are from space.
Okay.
Can you add a race of space horses?
A race of space horses. What would they be called?
Just
Horses.
yeah, maybe I don't know.
Horse.
You're the creative.
The hearses. No,
Yeah.
to make space races, you just like remove the vowels and put an apostrophe, like the H apostrophe hearses.
Yeah. And you
Think
don't have to even add them to the game. You just mention them somewhere. That'll be enough for me. Do it as a favor.
Yeah, it'll be like a passing thing. We done that.
We discovered somewhere in the future, like during that time, people discovered that horses came from space. That's it.
Yeah,
We
remember
met
that time?
the space
And then
village. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can actually make a DLC like all about that. The space
Yeah.
horse.
Space horses. That's
The
awesome.
Space
Yeah.
Horse Saga. Even in contests, I don't know who asked me one day, like, can you make a new Marvel character that is a magic robot? It was like a passing thing during a meeting, and
Yeah.
that's how we created Guillotine 2099. Because somebody challenged me to create something that was like a robot, but it was also magical. Because I think it was Shane, because he wanted to have a character that had magical powers, but also it was a machine,
Right.
like design
Yep.
reasons.
Design
I was like,
Little
okay,
movies are-
I can do that. Like let's create a backstory for the character. So I always loved doing that in contests because Marvel also gave us that kind of freedom to do it. Same thing here. I wanted a lot of this. You put yourself in a box a lot of the time, right? When you're working for someone, and sometimes it's an imaginary box that nobody's gonna say no. You just think somebody's gonna slap your hands for it. So you kind of get a bit rusty in creativity. So now I just I look around. It's like nobody can say no. So I'm trying to re-exercise those muscles, and I think we all like that, right? We're trying to. What it means to be indie is exactly that. There's the limit is what the limits that you impose to yourself. So all this stuff is gonna be pretty cool. Space Horses, it is.
Space horse. Awesome. Done.
Love it.
The horse is from the.
This is my contribution to this whole
That's
thing.
awesome.
Is there
I love
any
it.
horse constellation that they could come from? Or
Oh, there
galaxy?
probably is.
Probably.
I believe Pegasus is a horse constellation, isn't it?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Story.
But like the one thing that one limitation that I put on those guys that nothing can come from outer space. This world is already so out there that you can have aliens, but they're from Earth. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they all crazy. We have a race of cats, as you've seen, and they all evolved from humans or
They're like
Okay,
time
opposite.
aliens.
yeah. So the horses can be another race.
Yeah, I would say, or opposite. The horses finally evolved, and then they went to space, and that's why there's no horses left.
Yeah. And if you meet them, they'll try to ride you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think, oh, there's a horse there. Maybe I'll just grab it as a ride, and then it suddenly stands up like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
And then he jumps on you and rides Nova. And it's like,
Yeah. How do you like it? How do you like it?
I do.
Yeah.
Here's some sugar cubes for you.
Yeah.
Be one of the quests is you have to take a horse around to find some stuff. They won't let you go until you complete it.
You'll be like, I'm tired. No, go there. Good one. Here's an apple. Yeah, good. I like that idea. G.
That's good.
Cool. That was awesome, guys. That was our best live ever, I can safely say. Thanks, Kelly, for being this awesome support for the stuff that we're really bad at doing, and you're great at doing that. And G, thanks for coming. I know you're really busy, and
Anytime.
yeah, you're welcome to come back anytime. We always want to have our friends from game industry, because that's the best part about it. All the shit that's going on with the game industry is like, we hear all of that all the time, but the good stuff is here, in this room.
Yeah,
Agreed.
this is where the creativity and the magic happens. Also, just a plug for everybody who's watching right now. Don't forget to follow Kinshft on the socials. So mostly Facebook and Twitter right now. You can find What If on LinkedIn and YouTube. Back your indie devs. These guys make awesome games. They don't get nearly as much exposure as the big company games because guess what? They don't have like multi-million-dollar marketing budgets. So back your indies. That makes these games happen, and it helps these guys out too. So
Yeah, thank you very much. You know,
oh, and Discord too. If you guys want to keep chatting, go over to Discord.
yeah, the Discord is always the place where we show art, we show new stuff there, you know, so that's lots of cool stuff. And if you back us on Indiegogo, there's a specific room where for devs and dev friends that we all show early stuff in there. Is one of the perks that we offer for people that back us, you know. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a good night and see you guys soon.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Yeah,
you, guys.
bye-bye, guys.
Hi,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.